Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician, and today we're going to be going into my side cutters. Well, a combination of my side cutters and diagonal side cutters because there's a little bit of a difference. I know some people make a big deal out of it. Basically, one you're just kind of getting more of an angle on. But we're going to be going over those, the 6 or 7 pairs that I have. I'll be sharing the specs, features, and pricing with you guys. The prices will range depending on where you purchase them from, but I will have all of these linked down in the description for you guys if you guys are interested in any of them. I will also have 2 additional links that say tools and tools continued. Those links are going to take you to a long list of tools that I've went over in the past or other tools that I suggest, so that's all there for you guys. Other than that, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns on any of these, please feel free to drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer it. I'll kind of share with you what I use these primarily for, the ones that I use most to the least, and why. And I really hope you guys enjoy. If you guys do, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below of your guys' favorite brand. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Let's get into this. So here we're looking at all of my diagonal side cutters. I will also have another video dedicated to just flush cuts because there is a difference between diagonal side cutters or side cutters and flush cuts. So we're going to go through, kind of go over some of the specs, features, pricing of each one of these, my thoughts on them, kind of when I use them and where I use them. If I forget to mention anything that you guys would like to know about any of these, please feel free to drop a comment down below, and I will try to have all of these linked down in the description as well. As far as pricing, I'm going to give you a price range of basically the lowest that you may find it. It's average price to a high price, but I still believe is worth it at that price. But the prices are going to vary depending on where you purchase the tool from. So first up over here, we're looking at the Southwire, and this is the USA made Southwire. They do have a few other sets that are not made in the USA. Usually the tools with the, I don't know if it's all of them, but I know a majority of them, if they have the blue and red handles or the blue handles, they are made in the USA. As you can see there, it says Southwire USA. So there you can see the part number. And then they actually have a new version of these available as well. So this set, if you find it, is going to be priced between $15 to $28. And then they actually have the new one, which just has a basically laser engraving of a US flag. And that is going to be, I believe, the same pair of side cutters, but they partnered with the Wounded Warrior project, so that was pretty cool. As you can see here, this is an angled set, diagonal side cutters, and with this angle it really gets the handles up off the surface of whatever you're cutting on, so you can get as close as possible without your hand being smashed. So that is one design, and a few of them are designed like that. And then you also have your side cutters that are straight, which I'll show you here in a minute. But the handles on these are double dipped. You have a red underlayer with the blue overlayer, so you can see that kind of there. Nice clean cutter. And they've held up really well. These ones I keep here at home, but they are one of my go-tos. And then here we are looking at the Knipex. If I didn't state, this is an 8-inch pair. Here we're looking at the Knipex. This is also an 8-inch pair. Part number 7421200. Made in Germany. This set is going to range between $32 and $40, I think. A lot of Knipex tools are priced around the $30 to $40 price range, which I put off buying Knipex for a couple years when I first got into the automotive field. After I purchased them, I started purchasing a lot of them. I probably have about 20 pairs of Knipex, and I haven't been disappointed by a single one yet. So very good diagonal side cutters. These ones do actually stay at home, and I don't use these as often just because just the way my drawers are organized, and I keep these in one of my tool bags, so it's kind of like my to-go bag whenever I'm working outside or going somewhere else to work. These I use here at home, but not as often. From what I've used of them, they've done very well. And then this is just the classic Knipex dipped handles, the smooth rubber. They do have a grit style as well, depending on the style of pliers that you're getting. But Knipex has a few different variations of this, not just in size, but in angle and shape. Like here you can see the handle differences Here you kind of got an angled handle here, and it kind of gives you a little bit more comfort when applying a lot of force. So I do like that. Then next is the gear wrench. This is their new, from one of their newer sets. I got one of their sets, and I don't care for like the tongue and groove, just because I feel like those pliers, they just have too much extra material. I don't know if it's like the design that they put in them that just, it makes me feel like they're bulkier. But the diagonal side cutters and the long nose pliers I use constantly. This I actually keep in my work truck for at work, so these get used, I don't know, 3-4 days a week, a decent amount. So I'm actually really surprised with these. I don't put them through anything too ridiculously tough, but they do get used a lot. These range $15 to $26. If you are actually interested and you like this design, it's better to just purchase this with a set, whether you get a 3-piece set or a 5-piece or 6-piece set from Gear Wrench. It's just much better priced that way. If this one's $15 to $26 and this one's $15 to $28, I'm gonna go ahead and get the USA made one. This one is angled, this one is straight. There you can kind of see the difference in that design. So yes, while they are cutters and they're added diagonal angle, this is an actual angled set of diagonal side cutters, whereas this is a straight pair. Now with diagonal side cutters, if you guys don't know, they're not the same as flush cuts, because you do have basically area below that flat surface. So when you go to cut something on a flat surface, there's still going to be that gap from, you know, that surface to the actual tooth. But these have the standard dipped handles as well. I haven't had an issue with any of these handles with the rubber grips coming off or sliding around or anything like that. Another thing I like about the Gear Wrench is when they're in a tool bag, you can actually see the style. Each one has a little logo here, and like on my long nose pliers, it's kind of worn off, but it's still a handy little thing to see when it's sticking up out of the pocket. You can still tell what it is. There you can see the part number, just the Gear Wrench logo on the front. And surprisingly enough, even though these get used 3-4 days a week, they've held up. Like I said, nothing too difficult or anything, but a lot of use, and they've actually done really well. Next up is the Fujio, which is a 7.5-inch pair. These ones stay at home. These ones are about $33 to $40, so a little bit more expensive than the Gear Wrench and the Southwire, but right in the same price range of this 8-inch set of Knipex. But this is made in Japan. Sorry, I forgot to mention this is either Taiwan or China. I can't remember for sure. So USA, Germany, China or Taiwan, Japan. And every tool that I've ever owned from Japan has been extremely high quality, extremely nice finish, extremely sharp as well. I have, I don't know how many pairs of cutters, flush cuts primarily. I think I have 3 pairs of flush cuts, a lot of long nose pliers, and the cutters on those have been fantastic. I have a set of lineman pliers which have really, really nice cutters on them, but you can just see the fit and finish on here. And this gets used a decent amount, about the same as the Knipex over here. Both of these stay in my toolbox here at home, while that one's in my tool bag, that one's in my work truck. So each one, you know, sees a little bit different usage. This one's got a little bit different handle design. It's not your standard dipped handle, it's a little bit thicker. It is actually really comfortable. You do have kind of a grit base there to get some grip on it, just in case you got oily hands or anything like that. And then you do actually have a built-in crimper in the bottom, and Fujio offers many different styles of diagonal side cutters. I don't know how well it's going to pick it up. There you can see this has kind of a polished front, whereas the back is completely coated, you know, so a little bit different than what you may see as far as coatings on other side cutters. But even though this is pricey, once again, just like the Knipex, I definitely believe it to be worth it. Both of these are fantastic sets. The primary reason I don't keep these in my work truck or in my to-go bag is because I don't want to have to pay for another pair of these if I don't have to. These ones, even though they perform really well, they're about half the price. So if I lose them and I have to buy another set, I can either use one of these over here as a backup, or
I won't feel as bad purchasing another set. Next up is the channel lock, and if you're looking at getting a good quality pair of pliers in general, just any style, channel lock has a lot to offer. They're made in the USA, and a lot of the times they are very affordable, especially for a USA made tool. Now granted, channel lock doesn't usually include a lot of the fancy features and all of that you may find in Japan brands and the German brands and stuff. They're just kind of your more generic, basic design, but they make a good quality tool, just plain and simple. These are the 337s. It may or may not pick that up, I'm not sure. Channel lock, made in the USA. And these are, I believe, the high leverage. Most of these are high leverage. The pivot points basically pushed up as high as possible before the cutter. And they operate smoothly. I think the smoothest operating ones are either going to be the Fujia or the Knipex. Honestly, all of them are really smooth. The gear wrench is a little bit stiffer. It's probably the stiffest out of all of them, even though this is the one that I use the most. It just doesn't quite have the fit and finish that the higher quality ones does. But these channel locks range anywhere from $21 to $30, so right in line there with the Southwire and the gear wrench. But this is a 7¼ inch pair. You can get different styles as well. This one is also a straight set, just like these three, whereas my Knipex and Southwire are the angled. And then we have my other work set, and this one I actually got from Matco, but it is Knipex. I want to say the part number on this one is 7401160, 6½ inch pair. So this is my smaller set, and this is like my primary go-to. Even for stuff that I should probably use this one for, just because it's a little bit harder material or whatever. I'm usually pretty abusive to these just because I know these can take it and I don't have to worry about anything. They perform very well. I'd say I've had these 5 years maybe from Matco. I can't remember the part number, PDC6. But this is my go-to once again in my work truck. This, unlike the other set of Knipex that I have, is just the straight pair, and they perform extremely well. This 6½ inch pair is going to range between $25 and $30, so priced very well, especially for a Knipex pair of pliers. If you want to try some Knipex out, I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Definitely a brand that I really, really enjoy. Any of these could very easily be fantastic for DIYers or professionals. They've all got the quality there. But if you guys have side cutters, but you've looked at the Knipex miniature bolt cutters, they have a 6-inch pair, an 8-inch pair, and a 10-inch pair. This is the 8-inch pair, part number 7101200, and I purchased these a couple years ago, and I didn't think I was going to get a whole lot of use out of these. Man, I use these almost more often than any of my home side cutters. That's primarily why this set and the channel locks don't get used, because sometimes when I'm going to cut something bigger and I just don't want to use a lot of effort, these make things extremely easy. And never in my life did I think I would enjoy having a miniature bolt cutter set so much. This is like my go-to, and I just keep it here at home and I use it all the time. So even though we're going over our side cutters, I do want to mention the Knipex miniature bolt cutters. And for the 6, 8, and 10-inch pair, they're all going to range between a $40 price range for the smaller set up to $60 for the largest set, and you can still catch those on deals around the mid to higher 40s for the 10-inch pair. So definitely a great tool to consider. And those are my diagonal side cutters. Stay tuned. Got a light going out. Stay tuned for my video on the flush cuts. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below of your guys' thoughts or what brand side cutters you use and your thoughts on them. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.